and gentlemen, let's start the session of afternoon. And in this session, we will have 3 talks. In this presentation, we will have experts in power system. But the first talk will be presented by Dr. Nelson Martins, where he is presenting a talk about innovation in engineering. Then I will present the Nelson Martins. Dr. Nelson Martins work at CEPEL, Brazil. It's a Brazilian Electrical Energy Research Center. And Dr. Nelson has a vast experience in the power systems. And his CV is very large. Dr. Nelson has many comments, and he's a leading in power system dynamics and control and model analysis with significant contribution to the power system. He co-authored more than 50 journal papers. Then he's an expert, and I pass the word to him.
Thank you, Professor Freitas. Great pleasure to be here. Universidade de Brasília is my alma mater. I was admitted to university in 1968 and left in 72 as an electrical engineer. So it's always a pleasure being back here, Universidade de Brasília, and where I have friends and research collaborators, mainly Professor Francisco Damasceno de Freitas. Thank you all. I think I left it. Sorry. So I was admitted in 2015, elected a foreign member of the National Academy of Engineering of the United States. And a year before, Professor Virginia Siminelli from Universidade de Minas Gerais, Belo Horizonte, she was elected. And so we are both foreign members, and we were interested in this academic program for the grand challenges for engineering. And we went to Washington this October to attend the annual meeting as being invited by the director for this program of this academic program, which so the talk will be about that, our participation, and it's based on a presentation prepared by Professor Rama, who is the director for the program for international use. So, grand challenges for engineering, where did they come from and why? And what about the Grand Challenges Scholars Program, which we can translate also to academic program? Why is this program needed? And why has National Academy of Engineering this initiative? And there has been some summits, like, for example, this one in July 2017, where the grand challenges for the Royal Academy of Engineering, this is from United Kingdom, England, and also from the Chinese Academy of Engineering, they all got together because these challenges, these 14 challenges for the National Academy of Engineering of the United States is, as we'll be seeing, global challenges, and so they match very much with these other challenges from the other two academies. So a definition of engineering, and we have here this accreditation board for engineering of the United States. Definition is the profession in which a knowledge of the mathematical and natural science gained by study, experience, and practice is applied with judgment to develop ways to utilize economically the materials and forces of nature for the benefit of mankind. And the president for the National Academy of Engineering is Dr. Dan Moat, has his shorter definition. Engineers create solutions for the welfare of humanity and the needs for society. This is a great man, a real leader. He's a guy I would vote for the president of the world. Fantastic guy. And the National Academy of Engineering is full of goodwill, collaboration, cordiality. It's really very pleasant and instructive attending their meetings. I'm using the original slides from Professor Rama, and he included here some citation from Bernard Shaw. You see things as they are and say, why? But I dream things that never were, and I say, why not? So here comes the greatest achievements of the 20th century. All these have already been achieved, and we'll see a list of these achievements. These are publications from the Academy of Engineering, which are very inspirational, motivational. The Engineer of the year 2020 and Educating the Engineer for 2020. Attributes of the engineer of 2020. Strong analytical skills, practical ingenuity, creativity, communication competencies, oral, written, and cultural, business management, and leadership skills, high ethical standards. Resilience. This is a trendy word. And this Grand Challenges Scholars Program, which we could also think is probably easier to understand, Grand Challenges Academic Program, they look and develop these 5 competencies in the students. It's very motivational, mainly for undergrad, and at most master level. Because when you are in PhD, you're already too focused to think in such a wider scale. So the 5 competencies are research and creativity, so supervised researcher or experienced supervisor to enhance the technical competence. So that's depth. Then there is the multidisciplinarity. Every large program is multidisciplinary. So you have to understand this in order to better implement your solutions. So you need breadth. And then this must be financially viable to be successful. So there is business and entrepreneurship, also aspects which are important that you need to be developed. Then it has to be global, multicultural, because you have to give serious consideration to cultural issues for all viable solutions. So you have to have the planetary mindset. This word mindset is very much used nowadays in education. They have a fixed mindset is when the guy say, oh, I'm number 1 in the class. So that's fixed mindset. And there is the growth mindset. It's when you're always trying to achieve more. Mindset we can translate to Portuguese as mentalidade. So it's the mentalidade planetary, okay? And you must have social consciousness. You must have the motivation to address problems that will benefit the whole society. So the 20th century greatest engineering achievements. It's been in electrification, automobile, airplane, water supply and distribution, electronics, radio and television, agricultural mechanization, computers, telephone, air conditioning, refrigerator, interstate highways, space flight, internet, imaging, household appliances, health technologies, petrochemical technology, laser and fiber optics, nuclear technologies, high performance materials. I think, and you see how electrical engineering is pervasive over practically all of these greatest achievements. That's very interesting, this. And the only thing I miss here is there is agricultural mechanization, there are better medicine, health technologies, but there isn't fertilizers, because that's one of our main exports in Brazil. So it's due to agricultural mechanization, technology, and fertilizers also. So now, what will engineering achieve in the 21st century? It's almost impossible to predict. We never know what's coming next. The next gadget, the next big discovery that will revolutionize health and other. But so we cannot predict the achievement itself, but we must have a vision what needs to be achieved. A vision carries a promise. If you have a vision, you are actually promising something. So, what do we want to do? The vision is continuation of life on the planet. It's essential. Making our world then more sustainable, safe, healthy, and joyful. The goals are these 14 grand challenges for engineering. So this is very much inspirational to inspire the next generation, the engineering students, and to attract students to this area. So, vision again, the 14 grand challenges which we'll be seeing next. And we see that in the vision, we want to make the world more sustainable, safe, with health and the joy of living. So sustainability is related to energy, to environment, to global warming. Security is reducing vulnerability of human and natural threats. Health, improve medicine and healthcare delivery. And joy of living, expand and enhance human capability. These are the National Academy of Engineering grand challenges for engineering. And of those there, one of them is, I would say, achieved, which is the first one, make solar energy economical. If we are not there, we are almost there, right? Then provide energy from fusion. This is the most remote in terms of time scale. Develop carbon sequestration methods. This is to avoid global warming. Manage the nitrogen cycle. Provide access to clean water. Restore and improve urban infrastructure, like urban mobility, for example. Okay? Advance health informatics. Engineer better medicines. Reverse engineer the brain, prevent nuclear terror, secure cyberspace, enhance virtual reality, advance personalized learning, engineer the tools of scientific discovery. Interesting to note that the achievements of the 20th century were mostly about things. And the vision for the 21st century is about people and the planet. These grand challenges are mega engineering problems that are possibly the best description of engineering for the public, because they illustrate the answer to two important questions. What is engineering? And how does engineering serve people and society? Grand challenges for engineering. This is to inspire, to challenge, to educate. I have this booklet with me. It's very interesting. We had an interesting book here by year 2001 or something, that green book, which is very interesting also, prepared by the Ministry for Science and Technology in Brazil. So here is to this word Veiji, which is a mix of, this is how it's written, risk in Chinese, and it's both challenges and opportunities. One brush stroke stands for danger, the other for opportunity. And so you assemble them together, and you must be aware of the danger, but recognizing the opportunity. This is late John Kennedy. And here, some comics. Huh? Dinosaur A is saying, we should spend more effort in understanding, developing a project on how to avoid meteors from hitting the Earth. And Dinosaur B says, who needs that? You are always dreaming. And actually it were meteors that killed the dinosaur population in our planet. So, vision, continuation of life on the planet, making our world more sustainable, safe, healthy, and joyful. So, what are the goals for this vision? Is grand challenges for engineering. And in order to achieve this, how should we train ourselves? How should we train our students? Through the Grand Challenges Scholars Program, in preparing the students around the world to address problems like great challenges. So, as we have said, for that, this program has been established in, I think I have slides on this later, but she just told me I have 5 minutes. And you have to develop these competencies: research, creativity, multidisciplinarity, business entrepreneurship, global multicultural social consciousness. Here it's repeating already a previous slide. So solutions for the 21st century engineers must be feasible, viable, economically viable, feasible, and desirable. So this movement is result-based and is flexible. You shouldn't have these challenges as pointed, as listed there, as the challenges for every country. This could be it's a regional thing, can be custom made. And this is supposed to be a combined curricular and extracurricular program, so that you prepare the next generation for the major challenges. And each participation institute creates its own specific realization of these competencies and focus specific challenges. And this makes a whole network. At the moment, we have 64 universities in various countries fully committed to this, and 200 other universities and engineering institutes joining in the process of joining in. Make a global movement and develop this distributed network of diverse, flexible university nodes who lead the change, not charge, in their own unique ways. Synergy. There is a synergy between the UN Sustainable Development Goals and the grand challenges. And here are the goals, the sustainable goals, on this small icons there. And in the middle, in words, how they match with the grand challenges. Sustainability, security, health, joy of living. Here for the others, for the others. So there is a synergy. Again, this is a repetition of that slide. So students are to be inspired by these grand challenges. And here are the last but one slide. Here is the Professor Rama. On the left, he's the director for this program, international program. Nelson, Virginia, Professor Virginia Simonelli from UFMG, and William Chernikov from Toyota Mobility Foundation. And here another picture in the previous day. The three of us again, Rama, Nelson, Virginia, and Dr. Dan Moat, which is the president of NAE. This is a fantastic guy. That's all I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nelson, by the presentation. And you pass there to audience. Any question for Dr. Nelson? I have a question too. Please, Dr. Rodrigo Ramos.
Nelson, thank you for the great presentation. It is indeed inspiring to see that such a great team is already thinking about this vision of the future. On the other hand, we've seen recent studies saying, and they are debatable, but they come to the conclusion that even if we stop at the level of development that we have now, and we do not look for more growth, the current level of development of humankind is already unsustainable. Is it something that is being discussed by the National Academy of Engineering?
Probably yes, but this is not motivational. So this is not very much, doesn't flourish very much on the conversation. And in the meetings, these meetings, I had lots of pictures of the various presentations and people which we also contacted and tried to bring here. And they are interested in coming, because this event is going to be, it's planned to be at UFMG, Belo Horizonte, in late April. So it will be a 3-day workshop. It will be for invited academia and students. On the third day, one of the days is for students. And this program itself, in the end, I mean, the university establishes a protocol of collaboration and implements it. Start having courses, undergrad courses, and also nível 800, and it's really inspiring. And there is a competition, a national competition among students, or university competition, and students like these competitions. And I was just talking to Professor Pelanda from IME, and he says that they are having a thriving competition there.
That's great to hear, and I hope I'm not uninvited to the event because of my question.
If you treat me well, I'll make sure.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Nelson, really there are many problems to be studied, but I see the vehicular technology system as an important problem to discuss. What do you think about this problem for Brazilian culture?
Electric vehicles is a reality. I was in a hotel near the National Academy of Engineering there in Washington last week, and they were building 1 and building 2 in between a garage. And Tesla and BMW and other cars, all electric, connected to the plug. So self-driving, this is a reality up to a point. It's a reality in developed countries. One thing that a colleague of mine is interested in starting to study at the Brazilian National Academy of Engineering, my colleague Eduardo Torres Serra, is electric buses. Why haven't they made the fast, rapid bus transport in Rio? They have their proper lanes. Why haven't they made it electric? Why there isn't a plan, even a long-term plan, to have these buses electric? And the reason that we may think of is that the manufacturers are not very much keen on that, because this is a small market as compared to selling cars, in which you sell millions, because you have a big economic issue there. Huh? If you spend billions in developing and then you sell not even $1 billion, you are in problem. But electric vehicles is a reality there, and imagine for buses and for light van transportation, trucks, small trucks transportation, for city distribution of products. If you made it electric, how much you'd save in pollution? Huh? So it's an issue that probably we could think about. That's probably our National Academy of Engineering will be devoting some attention to this point in the next, in this first workshop planned, scheduled for late April 2019.
Dr. Glauco?
Since you brought the Brazilian National Academy into the discussion, as we talked this morning, there is a big issue in Brazil that we need to find ways to make our own products in Brazil. We have been developed a lot of research. We are top 15 in writing papers in the world, but probably top 50 in making products. So this is, I think, is a big challenge that we have to overcome in this country. What do you think?
Yes, you told me in this morning that this was a discussion you had with Professor Djalma Falcão, our colleague, and indeed, we are very good at papers, but somehow this doesn't have it's not followed up by the industry. And then, mostly because our industry and technology is foreign-based, even when it's foreign-based. So if we compare car manufacturers, I say that and someone said, no, 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 this is not quite correct. But this is the idea. We have here lots of international car industries. They make us nowadays good cars. But they are not very high on the exports because they make this for the internal market. So if you look at the percentage of car exports, it's not very large. So they assemble here nice factories and all that. They bring all their know-how from outside. Some, let us not be so critical. Some of them develop here, research centers and all that, but mostly it's carried out outside. So in a car, or in other high technological products, there is a lot of, I don't know if it is 40, I've seen this figure, 40%, 45% is engineering, is design. You pay for that, for the patents, for the imported technology and all that. So the product has and you sell millions, huh? So we need to develop products with more Brazilian technology aggregation. But these things is difficult. The other day, I think I sent to you and probably to you, and they are my friends, so I send zaps to all of them and receive. Never fake, because I'm very clever. But it's on, I made the joke and I forgot the mainstream. What was I going to say? I sent something related to technology and forgot. Sorry.
We thank again Dr. Nelson by the presentation. And we'd like to bring the theme to us and share your experience with this excellent theme. Thank you. We switch to the next talk. The next talk is influence of the mandatory disconnection of distributed generator on the voltage stability of the bulk power system. And it is presented by Dr. Rodrigo Ramos. Dr. Rodrigo Ramos is associate professor at Engineering School of São Carlos, a unit of University of São Paulo,